and then it's done and I won't forget. So let me get rid of that. Close.
Don't forget to send me a copy.
I will. I'm going to change the view as well, because when it starts flipping around, weird stuff goes on sometimes. So I'm just going to have it like that. Yeah, that'll be better. So I've been keeping up with you, and I've been watching your pyramid. I need you to tell me about your pyramid, Mark. What's going on with the pyramid?
Well, you know, I'm sitting in it every day, and it's cool. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Where did you get that from?
Well, it's a funny story. I was, I think it was, I can't remember when it was. It was about 10 years ago. I was looking into pyramids and these studies that were done in Russia, and my eye was caught. My attention was caught by the fact, by the, you know, clickbaity headline probably, but a pint of milk inside this pyramid just didn't go off. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked into it, and I was actually going to build them in Marrakesh. And then life happened. I moved country and 5 kids, blah, blah, blah. And then I got an email from one of my subscribers saying, I know a guy who's building, because I must have mentioned the pyramids on a show at some point. And one of my subscribers emailed me, I got a pyramid. You need to meet the guy who's making them. So I met the guy who made them online, as you do. Not in person, obviously, not these days. And yeah, we got chatting, and then we did a show on it, and then he sent me a pyramid, and now I sit in it every day.
Fantastic.
It increases your life force just by being in it. So this room I'm in now, so it's been like 6 months since we spoke.
Yeah.
Where's that gone?
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, I saw you with David Icke. That was like cool. That was cool.
Oh yeah. Oh well, it was lovely talking to David. What a guy. Obviously, you don't talk to David, you listen to David. You know, but fantastic. It was lovely.
Since I started, I was like, should I email Gareth and see if he'll cut? No, I'm not big enough. And I was like, I've got to pluck up the courage one day. That was great. That was great, actually. Yeah, so this place is turned into a healing center. I've got a pyramid, I've got tuning forks, I've got hydrogen water, I've got crystals everywhere. So it's all gone really well. My rebounder arrived this morning.
What's a rebound? What's a rebound?
Rebound is like a small trampoline. It's like the most.
I've got one downstairs. Yeah, that's good for your endorphins, doesn't it? Increases your endorphins.
It cleans out your lymphatic system, and it's just like a really, really efficient way of exercising. So it's all been solutions and spiritual, and you know, since I last spoke to you, it's just gone very much that way. And my channel content is very much, you know, I'm just really talking to healers and people that know stuff, and it's just and dragons, you know, dragons have entered my life, and I'm doing astral journeying, and I've been visited by the fairies. I'm saying that out loud. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I saw your video when you were kind of saying what had been going on in your life, and I thought, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Can I ask you a question? I'd like to know your opinion on this, because what I see is what I see has happened is that last year we were all in the, hey, don't worry, someone's going to come and sort this out for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, and now, I mean, after the going through a loss process of shit, actually we may have to do this ourselves. What I'm seeing, and what I'm aware of, and what I'm aware with other people, is that there's a big shift toward, we've got to get ourselves into the best place that we can, mentally, spiritually, physically, the whole shebang. So has that been your motivation? What was your opinion of the kind of well, actually our savior on the white horse isn't actually running in on the white horse at the moment?
Well, I think he is. It's called God. And this is God's plan. And I think you're referring to Donald Trump, and I think he's part of God's plan. And he had to move out of the way, because when the inauguration, everybody, you know, all the truth movement were all like, oh, it's going to be a mass arrest. It's going to happen. Yeah. And then, oh, you lied about this. You lied about that. You said this date. You said that date. Oh, Q's a load of bollocks. You're a load of bollocks. And I just sat back going, this is interesting. So what I've done, because I knew the whole thing was coming. When it happened, I drank a lot. I panicked a bit, because I was like, oh shit, it's here. Finally here. You know, I've been talking about it for years. Now it's finally here. And then the summer, I was like, okay, better start doing stuff. So I started growing vegetables and, you know, just started doing positive things. Then got the urge to start the YouTube channel. It was impossible to ignore. Started talking about it. You know, been researching this stuff for 20, 30 years and all my own life experiences. And then just started in poetry. You know, I've had millions of views on my poems since I last saw you, which is just extraordinary. And I don't, you know, I didn't do any of this for views or anything. It's just, you know, you just got to do what you got to do.
Sure.
And, you know, it's been a real roller coaster. But the roller coaster is not just physical and emotional. Like you said, it's not just physical, emotional, spiritual. It's all of those things. And my life's changed beyond belief.
Yeah.
On the outside, it might look exactly the same, but on the inside, it's completely amazing. And you know, and I've had moments of fear and wobbles and all sorts. You're going through it, but I think we're going through, like you said, we're all going through it ourselves. And the whole thing is about connecting with who you really are and finding that strength inside and becoming. So even on my Telegram group just now, there's people going, "Oh, the link doesn't work. The link doesn't work. The link doesn't work." So I put up and this is not denigrating anybody. I just put up a little note saying, if, as you can see, that link obviously has been merged into the word next to it. It's a Telegram thing. Instead of just clicking on it and saying the link doesn't work, read the link, copy the bit you need, paste it. And it's and a lot of the work that me and other people that have been doing this YouTube stuff has been like teaching people how to find links. You know, we're so used to everything just being on, you know, without us thinking about it.
Sure.
Like the food gets delivered and then you know, where does the petrol come from? What's money? What is money? You know, what people are actually asking these things, and they're starting to. And I realized this morning because there's a very good friend of mine who I've spent a lot of time with in the last year, who I thought was very awake. He's a very astute gentleman, and he's but he comes at it very much from the legal perspective. And he rings me this morning. He's like, they're really actually doing it. I said, what? They're actually splitting up families. I said, well, it's worse than that. They're actually trying to commit genocide. He said, yes, they are. I said, well, I've been telling you this for a year. Sure. And I thought he was awake, but he was just looking at it. And it just dawned on me that his perspective was within the framework of his own perspective, right? Sure. And his perspective was, the government's lying to us. Yes, that's a given. What they're trying to achieve is all about money. And I'm like, I've been saying for a year, no, it's nothing to do with the money. They own all the money. Yeah. Nothing to do with the money. Sure. But I've stuck to this one thing's kept me going. And that is that if the bad guys were in charge, bad guys, good guys, just to keep it simple, we'd have already been dead for a couple of years by now.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's kept me going, because even when it's looked like, oh my God, they're really going for it. And this is a movie, 100% a movie. They are showing us, they're taking us right to the edge so they can turn around and say, do you see now? Do you see what they were going to do to you? And if not, and I'm wrong, we're all dead anyway. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And death's not that bad. I mean, I often talk about it on my channel. Death isn't that bad. It's just a split second. The dodgy bit is beforehand when you're worrying about it. You know, the actual event. I was present when my grandfather died, and it took a second. You know, something I want to just mention about what you said, because it's something that's coming up in my life lately. That I had a conversation about with the guys upstairs, and they were telling me, I was asking them about how is it that it seems as though my life, I was forced along a line of creating a life that would keep me separate from what is actually happening. I mean, I already started when I woke up 15 years ago. I started to separate myself from society because I realized that society was quite toxic. But I got to a point where, you know, work from home, homeschool the children, everything from home, live in the country. And I just thought, I was drawn to that. It wasn't like I was actually drawn to do it. So when I was chatting to them, they said, yes, because you have already gone through the suffering.
Yeah.
You have already suffered enough. And so although you're still affected by what's happening, you don't need to suffer at the level that humankind needs to suffer. And what they said was they need to suffer because through suffering, we wake up and we say, no more, I can't take this. And so that's all. That message then came through Anthony de Mello. I was listening to him, came through. I was just listening to something yesterday and here in Spain, and everyone's talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
We've got to suffer. We've got to scrape along the bottom, be just what you're saying, to be actually say, wait a minute, we cannot go on like this. But mankind's got to suffer to actually get there. And I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean, go through, it's the baptism. They need to die to that life and be reborn to a new life.
It's a big job.
It's massive. It's massive.
It's a pretty big job, and it's been going on all of our life.
Yeah.
And this has all become clear to me. And it's actually really beautiful when you realize it and you see it, and I trust it. I absolutely trust it. And I've got such a incredible relationship with spirits and God and everything at the moment. It's just beyond belief. And like I said, I can't believe I'm even saying these things out loud, but it's true. And it's a very difficult thing to explain to somebody who doesn't get it. I'm still losing friends. I had Facebook yesterday or the other day, a friend of mine who decided to have the vaccine. He wrote me a message. I've known him 20 years. And he said, Mark, I've learned a lot from you over the years, but I think it's time you got the vaccine. And I went, oh, for fuck's sake, are you serious? Don't let your last words be, oh, Mark was right. Please don't do it. Read the ingredient. They won't even read the ingredients. And then he put a post up on Facebook that was so like, oh, I just deleted him. I'm like, well, I've just got to let him go. Everybody. And everything for me in the last 3 years has been about basically God saying to me, are you willing to let go of everything?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if that's what I've got to do, that's what I've got to do. And, I had to let go of my money, my family, possession, everything, friends, everything. And since I've let go of everything, the abundance of love and knowledge and other things, like, it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
Extraordinary. And I'm so blessed and grateful just to even be here talking to you now. Sure. Because 6 months ago, you did that past life regression on me, and I was a big blue alien. I didn't have a clue what that meant, and I've now got a very good idea what it means. And and you've been part of my journey, and a little part of yours. We did that thing with what's his name? I can't remember his name. Juan. Yeah, how's he getting on?
He's okay. I think he had because he was so heavily into Trump. That was his only theme.
Yeah.
He's tripped himself up a little bit. He stumbled a little bit,
Well, I think a lot of people did that.
Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. And you know what one of the things, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but what I think we need to go through a bit of an evolution. Or all of the, the truth movement is massive now. It's really a monster. For them, it's a monster that they can't control. But it's still fractured. And, I was listening to a wonderful guy who's an astrologer called Robert from Barcelona. And he was talking about before the age of Aquarius, we were in the I am place. And when we came into the age of Aquarius, we're into the I know place. And this is the place of I know and a place of unity. And this year is going to be the year in which we unite. And I think one of the things that we need to do, some of these truthers have got millions of followers.
Yeah.
And I think the message that needs to come out now is, let's get together.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in fairies and I don't believe in fairies. What the hell? What does it matter? We know the overarching truth, which is, there's some people that want to get shot of us. The baddies are out there. That's all that we need to know. And we can unite. We could be so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah. And I think it's going to take a huge event to do that. Because if we wait for everybody to catch up with everybody, it's not going to happen for years and years and years and years. But I've got a very strong feeling there's going to be a very big event fairly soon. No dates or anything, but I've had this for a while. It's the one unifying thing is the children. That's the one thing that will unify everybody. But I think we need to be taken to the edge, really taken to the edge, like terrified, to the brink of destruction. I think we need to be taken to the brink of destruction. I might be wrong. It's just my feeling. It's just my opinion. But I did a joke on a show with Mel K a few months ago, and I said I'd just got this leaked White House press release, and it was like, or it's a top secret document from the White House, and I just wrote it just before the show, and it was like, it's called the really, 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 really tight shoes strategy. She's going, oh, what's that? I said, well, basically, just really everybody puts on really, really tight shoes, and then they all take them off at the same time. It's just a massive relief, and everybody feels because that's what I think it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take people to the edge of destruction, they're all just going to keep arguing with each other. I mean, I wrote a poem recently called The Great Divide about this time. And in that poem, there was a line about the truthers ate each other. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing people that I used to follow, like who talked about Q a lot, people who, all sorts of different people, all fucking having a go at each other. Like, it's con man, grifter, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Oh, my truth's better than yours. You've all got all those followers. How irresponsible. Hopium, what a terrible thing. And it's like, no, it's all bollocks. Just do what you say. We've just got to get to the point where we go,
sure.
And that's coming.
Yeah.
I can feel it coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the route to it, the other thing is, I don't really know the route. I've just told you an opinion, a thought, a feeling, but I don't really care because this is about enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
It's not about the destination anymore. It's about, this is the journey. Yes, we've still got this bollocks going on. So what can I do? Well, I'll go and buy a pyramid.
Sure.
I'm going to grow some different vegetables this year.
Mm-hmm.
Going to take the kids up a different mountain. I'm going to go in that cave that I was promised to go and have a look at. It's things like that. There's tons and tons of things you can do because the whole pandemic is all in people's minds. There is no pandemic, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So it's only existing in people's minds.
Yeah.
So in your own mind, create your own reality. And when you do that, I mean, I'm very chipper today. Don't know why. I think it's because they announced the death of Prince Philip. And I did. Do you want to see the meme I just did?
Come on then, yeah, that'd be great.
Because I don't often do memes, but I met Prince Philip.
Yeah.
I shook his hand. I can still feel it. If people knew the truth about him, they would be mind blown how evil he was. I can't do shit screen sharing.
Oh, I have to give you permission or something, don't I, or whatever? I don't
know. So I've just had a bit of fun.
Screen share, there you are. Is that allowed?
So I'm laughing at my own jokes here.
Are you allowed to?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Can you do it now? I've clicked.
Yeah, I'm just going to find, I don't know where Zoom's gone. Hang on, there we go. Yeah, so I've just put these out because I just... So I'm pleased with my own work. There you go, there's one.
Breaking news. Well, he did want to, didn't he? That was his dream, wasn't it?
It was his dream to come back as a virus.
That's very true. Yes. Yeah. I know somebody said, "Oh, he's died," and I said, "Well, it'll be COVID then, is it?" Yeah, for sure. I mean, they can't miss out on somebody going off without labeling them a COVID victim.
Yeah, this one's a bit rougher. This one.
Oh,
here we go.
Very good, very good, nice.
Because the other thing is, right, although we're talking about end of times, biblical catastrophe, children, monsters, Satanism, demons, all true, and all the way through somehow I found a sense of humor. Well, not found it, I've just continued with a sense of humor.
Sure.
And sometimes I felt guilty about it, but then I get these emails every day saying, "Thank you so much for picking me up and keeping me going." And
I think it's one of our greatest skills is to be able to laugh in the face of adversity. It's how we manage it. There's a couple of things I wanted to say that you were saying that resonated with me was when this all started. I was absolutely obsessed with creating. I thought, if I'm going to be stuck in the house, I'm going to start making stuff. And so I have made more things, and I'm talking about significant creation of I've made just next to me here, a recording studio, you know, like one of those ones where it's silent inside. I built stuff, and when I was talking again to the guys upstairs, and they were saying, if you want to, the best thing that you can do is to create, because we are sparks of God, are we not? You know, we're little pieces of God, the creator. And so if we want to actually put the right energy into this world, we've got to start creating. And that's been my message. Just whatever it is, do it. You know, create, make stuff. And that's how we fight back against this negative energy, is because the energy of creation is divine.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. And so that's been kind of the theme for my year is, and that's what they've taught me, just keep creating. And that keeps you safe, keeps you strong as well.
It does.
There was something else I was going to say as well, but I can't remember now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It'll come back to me.
Well, I'm pleased to hear it, and I'm not surprised. I mean, you've got a very creative energy about you, and we all have, actually.
Sure.
You know? And it's just some people are more tapped into it than others. And I'm loving, you know, I get submissions. I put up a thing. I was going to publish a poetry book called The Great Awakening in verse, and the poems are coming from all over the world, and people have made videos going, oh, I made this because I was inspired to do it, and here it is, and they're churning it out. And there was a brilliant, I don't know if you saw that song the other day by Sahara and Big Daddy called WTF. It was the funniest.
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Funny. You've not seen it?
No.
Oh, can I play it for you?
Ah.
You've got to see this, Gordon. This is what I live for. Stuff like this. Even I've released a song.
No, I heard a little bit. I was in the gym and I had it on, and I heard a little bit. When you were with Mel, I think you played it. Did you not?
Yeah, I mean, me and JC came, recorded, made a song. I've just put a song out. I'm like, what?
This is what it's all about. It's just, I mean, we're in mass creation at the moment, and obviously the energy level, the vibrations increasing so fast that we're manifesting faster than we've ever manifested ever.
It's instantly.
Yeah,
I'll play a bit of this because this is just brilliant.
Okay. Ah, yes.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. Yes, it's fantastic.
Funniest thing ever made. Watch a bit of it, just for me.
Yo, Sahara.
Hey, Big Daddy.
This song's called What the Fuck, brought to you with love.
Have you missed us? It's been a year. What the fuck is going on here? It's been a year. It's been a year. What the fuck is going on here?
You locked us in the house, motherfucker. You took away the beach, motherfucker. You took away my speech, motherfucker. And now you wanna stamp my motherfucking green passport?
I was born a free.
Probably too much swearing, I don't know, but I love it.
It's really good, really good. But it's happening more and more that a lot of people are being creative about mocking. You know that I know that the number 17 used to say the memes were we're going to bring everything down, because you can dismantle a whole genre of lies with a really good meme.
Yep.
You know, and it's the same with the song. And my wife posted a one on our Telegram group of the ones something about someone being a wanker, or all the people being a wanker, all the heads of state and everything. It was a hilarious song, but it's like they're coming all over the place. I mean, I this year I released an album called Peaceful Rebellion, and all of the songs are about peaceful rebellion and about what's happening and everything. You know, and that was amongst all the other things I did, and it's just creation's just pouring out of us.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see. The pen is mightier than the sword, and humor, I was saying at the beginning of all of this that demons don't like humor. I mean, my whole thing was really about demonic attacks. I mean, I've had unbelievable. I mean, it all got really physical. There was one night, there was one on my back, and I had to crawl up the stairs because it was on my back, and I'm fighting them off. They're all gone now. Right?
Question. You, in one of your videos, you said the demons are all gone, but I'm not going to tell you how I know. Tell me how you know.
No, I can't.
Oh,
I can't, because it's something that I think it needs to be told when all this is over.
okay.
I don't mean it in any other way. It's just it's so fantastical and bizarre that I even know that. But and plus, I'm still piecing all that together. So I want it to be. I'm not saying I got rid of them all. I'm saying that I know. I think I know how and when and
Okay.
and what part different people had to play in that. And it's not really about people anymore. It's about the consciousness of us,
Yeah.
the singular consciousness, the God spark, the Christ consciousness. I mean, I did a meditation the other week, and this golden lion came to me, and it was just like, it was like one of those scenes in the movies with angels singing. You can hear it was just like, whoa. It's so unbelievable. I can't explain it.
Sure.
And then afterwards, I told JCK what it was, because she's incredible at visions. She said, that's Aslan, Jesus. And I heard her say Aslan, but I didn't hear her say Jesus, because I didn't know that there was any connection between Aslan in Narnia and Jesus at all.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe book. Yeah.
And I'd never read the books, and I'd been aware of the films, but I'd never seen them. And it was like 2 weeks later, and somebody sent me a picture of Jesus on the throne, and coming out of his head was this huge golden lion. And I went, that's the lion. And then I rang my friend and said, well, this is Jesus, what? And he said, yeah, Jesus is known as the Lion of Judah. And I was like, wow. And then, so things like that, you cannot, it's not like somebody stood there in a thing, dog collar, telling you about, which was my experiences as a kid, really.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a very personal thing. And you do want to talk about it, because, and the only reason I talk about it is because other people, what I've realized is that the more you talk about this stuff from a very grounded, normal sort of bloke kind of way, other people who've kept quiet about stuff, they start telling you their stuff. And then the more of us that open up and start saying, well, actually, yeah, I've been talking to dead people since I was 2 years old. I had a fight with a demon, and I met Christ last weekend.
Yeah.
We've all got these experiences, right? But we've always been boxed in.
Yeah.
Always. And it's even when we think we're not boxed in, when you see somebody who's evangelical about God, I never trusted those people, right?
Very narrow, though. It's very narrow, isn't it?
Extremely narrow, right?
Yeah.
They're all, it's a bit like, one of the reasons I still swear on YouTube is because it's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I get, because I'm talking about spirituality and stuff, I get a lot of complaints from Americans going, well, yeah, very interesting until you started cussing. And I'm like, well, fuck off then. You're on the wrong channel. Because the thing is, I don't care.
Sure.
Right. And I think, and I'm getting more and more authentic every day. I think I used to think I was extremely authentic. But I look back at that version of me and I'm like, no. You were not really, Mark. You were bending the rules here. You were bending the rules there. You were subjugating yourself here. You were not standing in your power. And I never really understood that term of standing in your power. I first heard it, I think, about 7 or 8 years ago from a Kundalini yoga instructor friend. And she said that, and I was like, standing in your power, what does that mean? Literally didn't know what it meant. But now I think I do.
Yeah.
And the more we do it, the more other people stand in their power.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I was just talking about a couple of experiences as well that I've been. What I decided to do, Mark, what I was aware of is, I wanted to keep up to speed with everything that was happening, and that can become addictive. Yeah. Because you start, signing up, and Telegram's wonderful. I mean, I had about 30,000 channels trying to keep up with them, but I noticed it was getting me, it was taking my energy down because there's a lottery. You watch a good video, then you watch a couple of bad ones. It's just like scrolling through Facebook. So I've done this sort of kind of cleanse and just said, right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start working on my spirituality. Let's get to a new level. So I'm doing remote viewing, learning the tarot cards. Oh, these are courses on Udemy, you know, the little courses.
Yeah, great.
Bought myself a couple of courses, and also doing the Akashic records, visiting the Akashic records. So I did this, and it's a hypnosis thing, but it's a book and all of that. And I went up to the Akashic records, and you can ask a question. So I was there in the big hall, and there was this beautiful big leather-bound book with parchment pages, empty, and I asked it, and you're not supposed to ask when, because the Akashic records are timeless, and so there's no when. When doesn't, it's all about. I mean, the emissary said to me, it's not about timing, it's about energy and frequency. When the energy and the frequency is right, then the change happens. You can't put time on it. So I said, okay, so what has humankind got to do for this to change? What's got to happen? And they said they've got to step into the power, into their own sovereignty. They've got to learn to unite. They've got to learn to love, and they've got to learn to accept one another. And nothing new there. Just the same old there. What every guru has been saying for as long as you can go back. But it's the truth is become authentic, step into our power, become one, because we all are one anyway.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It sounds easy.
It's easy. Come on, everybody.
We were infiltrated. I mean, what I've realized is we've been here millions of times. Some of us have been here millions of times.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this is that all the people that I've connected with in the last 6 months are people that I feel like I've known forever, because I have. Mm-hmm. People on the other side of the world, other continents, and all these other people have disappeared.
Yeah.
And some of that's difficult because some of them are family and things like that. But we're so locked into this 3D. The big thing is we've got to let go of 3D. Mm-hmm. I mean, I call it 3D. Sometimes I think that sounds a bit tossy, but this reality is, I've been saying to people at dinner parties for years, this isn't real, this is amazing, this is a hologram and everything else. I'm really starting to understand that now. Yeah. It really is a case of just got to let go. You've literally got to go and live in a different vibration. Yeah. And it's not difficult to do. It's really not difficult to do. You just got to make a decision to do it. Yeah. Now that brings back to mind what I was going to mention that you'd mentioned as well. One thing that came up very early, but it was a couple of years ago, after I'd had an extremely intense ayahuasca experience, like enough to take me beyond death to zeros and ones. Right. So I died to myself, but it wasn't just dying, because that's very common in ayahuasca, but it was beyond that. It was like being taken to nothing. And afterwards, I just thought, I got these messages: surrender, this word, surrender. And I've always been a control freak in my life. I wanted to control everything because I thought that I knew better. And I read this beautiful book called A Return to Love. And it's based on the Course in Miracles, but it's very nice. And the woman said, the reason that you don't want to surrender to God, to the universe, whatever you want to call it, is because you think that you know better than them. You think that you know what's better for you. But really think about it. The universe knows what's better for you than you know what's better. And it was kind of like a moment I thought, you're right. Because I was thinking, what if I surrender myself and they get me to do something horrible? What if I lose all the money? What if I lose my family? What if I lose my house? What if? And when I realized that actually when you surrender, and that's what I did, I started walking through the countryside, just literally praying and saying, show me what to do. Show me what to do. I surrender. That's it. I'm done. I surrender. And the most beautiful change happened. And it was a change for the better. And that's what I tell people is, when you surrender, you're not
you're not putting yourself in danger. You're actually putting yourself in a beautiful place, because the universe knows exactly what it wants you to do. It knows where your sovereignty is, where your power is, and it just moves you there. And my life is like 1,000 times better since I surrendered.
It's interesting you say that about it moves you around. So one analogy that came to me about 4 or 5 months ago is that I was like looking down on this plane. Well, not looking down, looking from above, and I suddenly saw every single soul spirit was all part of a 8 billion piece interdimensional chessboard. So every single aspect of us, you know, this version, your higher self, the 1 in 12D, etc. There's all these different versions of us, and they're all being moved around precisely as they need to be in order to achieve the objective, which I believe is referred to as God's plan. And once I got that, and then you start seeing the humor, not just in, you know, what we're doing, the humor of the play that's being played out in front of us. God, you've got this fake President Biden, right? Played by at least 2 actors. You've got Boris Johnson, buffoon, you know, all these idiots, right? Just coming out with nonsense, because God is literally using comedy to wake people up.
Sure.
It's just in the middle of all the craziness. But if you look around, you know, I say all the craziness, the death rate is down worldwide. Less people are dying than ever.
Sure.
Yeah, to show it, to prove to these people. I think I've been shouted at 2 or 3 times in the last year. Where's your mask? Put your mask on. I'm like, oh God, you know. And it's when I've just not been in the right state of mind, and they just appear out of nowhere and they shout at me, and I look at them and I have to go, right, okay, yeah. But even that's comedy.
Sure. Yeah.
It's all comedy. I mean, just watch it, looking at somebody sat in a car. I can't wait to get them all in a room and then play a video of them sat in their car, putting a mask on, you know, driving with their mask on, looking around like this. I said, that was you fucking idiot.
No, I know.
You're the reason this took so long.
It's true. I mean, it's hilarious. It always, you know, I think that history, the whole history has been manipulated to keep telling us what's happening, especially in metaphor. And you know the story, that magical gift of the emperor's new clothes, is where we are right now. We are the little boy shouting, but he's naked, and everyone's going, oh no, he's here. Look at that clothing, it's beautiful. And we're watching presidents fall up the stairs, fall down the stairs.
How can you fall up the stairs 3 times?
I know. And we're watching, you know, somebody who's running the country who isn't even capable of getting his head to lie flat. You know, what's going on there? What is going on there? It's just
what's going on here? It's nuts.
And we is kind of going, excuse me, they've got no clothes on. It was going, how dare you? Disgusting that you say that. How dare you?
How very dare you? Yeah. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. My brother won't even answer messages. My brother wouldn't open the door to my mum when she took round the present for her grandson because she was terrified of catching the COVID. Yeah. And you know, I sent him a message. I said, listen, I know you think I'm nuts, but at least read this article by a world famous virologist who says this is a fucking mega scam. At least read it before you go and get something injected in you and you don't even know what's in the ingredients.
Sure. Chimpanzee. It's good for you. It's good for you. Well, you know, there's a guy who came around to anyone who comes to my house, as they walk in, I say to them, if you're wearing that mask for me, you can take it off, because I'm not bothered. And 9 out of 10 take it off. But one guy came in and he said, no, I'm wearing it for me. I said, okay, super. So he's standing in my kitchen talking to me in the kitchen, which is like a restaurant, isn't it? Really, it's kitchen. Yeah. Not that different. Here in Spain, you know, you've got to wear a mask all the time unless you're in a restaurant.
Yeah.
In a restaurant, nothing happens. So he's talking to me, and he put his glasses on. His glasses start to steam up. You know, I'm going to have to drop this down to my mouth. And out of respect, I didn't say anything, but I just thought, Do you think that that's doing any good? Take the fucking thing off your mouth. What do you think it's doing, having it over your mouth, other than making you look like a tit?
There's common sense just gone.
Yeah. And I said, you know, hey, if I make you a cup of tea, you could take your mask off. Then we're having a cup of coffee like in a cafe. You know, it's like, oh, for goodness sake, just get a few wheels moving around. That's all I want, please. Just a few wheels, cogs moving.
Well, we've been detached, and in many ways, we've been forced into becoming creatures that don't have to think for themselves, or creatures that don't have to do anything for themselves. There was a film a few years ago called Wall-E about a little robot, and he was on this spaceship of human colonists that had left the Earth, and they all got really fat, and they just didn't have to do anything. And then he goes down to Earth and clearing away all this rubbish, and it's like it's simple stuff like realizing that you need to connect to the Earth every day. Grounding. I'm on a grounding mat here, a grounding sheet, stand on the grass. The difference when you're aware of it, and you realize that plastic shoes, for example, are a weapon against you. Stop wearing them.
Sure.
It's life changing. But people they look at you like you're nuts.
Yeah, it's woo-woo, isn't it? It's woo-woo world.
People look at me like I'm insane. And I said, take your shoes off, stand on the grass. I've been actually saying that for 10 years. Stand on the grass. They're like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Well, because you're not connected to the Earth. Why do you need to be connected to the Earth?
I saw a video the other day of a lady who said, look, I'm going to show you how to really connect yourself. And she put a copper wire around her waist and buried it in the ground and lay on the ground. She said, if you lie here for half an hour, when you get up, you will feel like $1 million. And I thought, well, I'm going to give that a go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But my first reaction was copper wire around your waist, and I thought, is this a joke? But no, she was serious. And yeah.
Wait there, I'll show you something. I've got I have some copper wire here.
There we are. Oh, like a
stick, right? You sit in the pyramid with this, 500% more.
Wow.
Copper. It's amazing.
Wow. You know, I've got years ago now, I discovered orgonite.
I've got orgonite everywhere. It's everywhere.
We've got orgonite all over our house. I've got a cloud buster in the back that I made, massive orgonite block.
Yep.
With the copper tubes coming up.
Yep.
We've got it all. You know, when I look back at all of the things, the changes we made, like putting a water, a reverse osmosis water filter, so we don't drink the water, which is calcifying our pineal gland, all of the crap that they put in. The amount of changes that we've made that for us are just bog standard now. We live like that. Anybody would go, what would you want? No, the water's beautiful. I mean, one technician came and said to me, I'm telling you now, if they didn't put chlorine in the water, it wouldn't quench your thirst as much. So, if you want your thirst quenching, you've got to have a bit of chlorine. I was thinking, where did you learn that? Where did you learn that?
I was at a party a few years ago in Ireland, and I was stood there going, this country has the wettest country in the world with the worst water in the world. You can't, water everywhere, not a drop to drink, right? Worst water system in the world, highest levels of fluoride in the world, most docile population because of that, and the highest levels of chlorine. And one of the guys at the party worked for the water board from Galway, and I was telling him this, and he was coming out with all sorts of shit to justify the crap that they put in the water. Yeah. I looked at him like, you're just fucking mad. You're so overeducated and arrogant that nothing outside of that paradigm. It's like you said, the emperor's clothes. It's like when the Spanish Armada came and people had never seen ships before. They couldn't see the ships.
That's right.
And the controllers of this place have worked this out for centuries.
Absolutely.
Thousands of years, right? Some of us, for some reason, have not been afraid to step outside the box and go, I don't care what you say. I mean, orgonite, I got involved with making orgonite years ago, and I got a piece of it in the kitchen. And I got one of those, when you buy a herb plant from the supermarket, I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but they die like the next day. Doesn't matter how much you feed them or whatever. You have to, I think they're designed to die. So I deliberately bought this coriander plant, and I did a bit of experiment. I've sat it on this orgonite plate It's 2 weeks later, it's like this, it's like a bush.
Mm-hmm.
It's got endless coriander. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's just from a piece of, look, if you don't know what orgonite is, look it up. You make it yourself. It's really easy.
Yeah, it's easy. I made it myself. You order stuff off eBay or Amazon and you've got it. It's like the pyramids you were talking about. I remember watching the experiments they did in Russia with fruit and veg.
Yeah.
The size of the vegetables that they were creating inside, they were like 10 times the size of.
Yeah, I was 4'2" before I got this. I'm 5 foot.
Very good.
I've only had it a week. But another 6 months, I'll be about 7 foot.
Well, be careful because obviously you might have to buy a new house and then that.
Well, I think we'll all be, I'm already planning building a house.
Right.
I want to build a hobbit house, but a geodesic dome on top. I mean, it's getting to the point where we've got to get organized and just go ahead in the way that we want to go ahead. I think
if you want to build, have a look at what's called aircrete.
Aircrete. I know about aircrete. In fact,
have you heard it? Yeah.
My clients make it.
There we are then. So that's you can do it at home. It's very cheap as well. Very cheap. Yeah. So
shall I go on?
Question for you. Look, what do you think? What do you see in this year? What do you see?
Big event. Wake up. Get on with the new world.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. But it's like you said about the Akashic record. In fact, when you were talking about the Akashic records, it's interesting that you mentioned no dates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's been one of the things about all of it, because time doesn't really exist. So everything comes together when everything's ready.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I'd like to play you one of my poems if I can.
Mm-hmm.
This is I'm pretty proud of this one. It's and it's got a bit about that. It's not a long one, so I'll play it and then talk about it.
There and back again. Ma ha ka wa ta he ta wa ka ha ma. There and back again. Do you see? Multi-dimensional beings are we. From the energy of the first light, through the calendar of the light of days, with the veil down, we were in a haze. 1 to 10 and back again. In the darkness we held each other tightly until the light came. The dragon blood, the Taki, the Akashic potentiality, at the speed of memory. We came, there and back again. From the I am to the we are. We came far, there and back again.
Very nice, Mark. Very nice. Very profound.
Well, yeah, cheers. I mean, you mentioned a couple of things in there, like in the chat. I've lost you. Hang on, where are you? Where's he gone? Where's Gordon?
I'm still here.
There he is. From the I am, you said from the I am to, I said to the we are, you said to the
I know,
right? At this time of knowing. And I've been saying this to the kids because, so one of the good things about not being in school is you're not getting your head full of stuff. It's just about knowing stuff now.
Yeah.
And it's going for walks and knowing how to start a fire, not to burn things, how to light a fire, how to find food and how to grow food. We do know this stuff. If you tap in, you know it all. Yeah. And that's also why I put the Akashic potentiality in there, because it is a potential. It is written, everything's happened, but it's kind of it's still potential depending on how you react at that time.
Yeah.
So it's still potential, even though it's already happened.
Yeah.
At the same time, which is why it's called there and back again, because the distorted light and the undistorted light, the demon infested world and the beautiful one that we're going into are both going in opposite directions at the same time, and time doesn't exist. So we're in the middle of it, but we're already at the other end of it, and we're at that end of it all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is actually brilliant. And if you are vibrating at a high frequency, that kind of gobbledygook starts to make sense.
Sure.
Can't explain it with your 3D language.
No, and that's when I'm talking with the emissaries, they have to give me images more than words. I create the words, but they give me lots and lots of images. And I asked them this question. I said to them, when you came to me, why did you come to me at that specific point? How did you know that that was a specific time to come? And they said, I said, had you come before and not been able to reach me? And they said, no, we came when the moment was right, because what they did, they showed me a block. It wasn't a timeline, it was a block, and there was a little light in the block, and they said, we knew that we had to come at that point because that was the point in which you were going to be receptive to us. So, they said, there isn't any false starts, like, where they are. Everything's, it's all, it isn't, you don't have to run along the time, you just have to drop in. It was bizarre, but they were showing me, but that's what they were saying. When I was asking them, when is all of this going to is there a time frame you can give me? And they said, no. They said that the way that it works is that they keep reassuring me everything is going exactly to plan. That's what they keep, like, it's the same message has been from the beginning to the end. Everything is going to plan, but they said sometimes it can be speeded up. And they said it's all dependent on the vibrational frequency that's being created. Therefore, if we excel, if we unite, if we start to love and accept one another, we're going to speed that up. That's all. But they're saying whatever happens, it's going to happen. There is no stopping it. There's no going. It's not you can't go back. It's only one.
I think I wrote that down yesterday. It's like it's a one-way ticket.
Yeah. That's what they keep saying all the time. We're only going in one direction, but if we want to, we can speed it up. And that's what their job is. Their job is to help to oil the wheels. That's what they say. We've got to oil the wheels. That's what we're doing. That's what you and I are doing. Everybody else, we're oiling the wheels to make it go faster.
And it's collaborative because, I got an email from a subscriber, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago, and it was kind of cryptic. She said, I don't actually watch you or anybody, but one of my friends does. And that's what she's saying, saying I needed to write to you. And basically, she said, I'm just an ordinary person, nothing special about me. But over the last 10 years, I've been communing with these star beings. Mm-hmm. One's called Oliver, one's called Gordon. I can't remember his name. It was like ordinary names. And, not like Zod the Impaler. It was just like, normal names. And she really got me. She really got me because she said, they know that you go out and look up at the stars every night, which I do. So I was like, whoa. And she said, next time you go out, look up to the left, and there's a star, the star that you feel connected to, talk to it in your mind without speaking or feeling like you have to go, same prayer, just because we're all equal, and communicate with it and ask it to move left and right, up and down, and see what happens. And I went and did it, and it started doing it. I was like, fuck, I'm talking to stars now. And then she wrote me a couple of weeks later saying, they've told me that they've communicated with you now. And wow. She said, it's just practice, just keep practicing. And then the other night I was out and I found the star again and I was communicating. I can't actually hear the words, right? But they are communicating. I'm feeling it. Something's going in on a level that I can't put into words, right? Like language, like codes, whatever you want to call it. And I just said, could you just do something like big, showy offy for me? And then this other star appeared out of nowhere, and it was only at about 5,000 feet. And it was just bright white star, and it was just going across like that. I was like that. And then I was like, oh, somebody else has got to see this. So I went and got my son, and we watched it, and then just went just like that. Amazing. And that's happening all the time. It happened with a tree the other day, and I had a friend with me, and the tree just, whoa! It almost blew me over. What it was saying to me, it was like, but it was so loving, but huge and powerful. It's a wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful life that we've got ahead of us, because if this is like how we're supposed to be, and actually, it's just hit me, in actual fact, what is the difference apart from the fact I'm big, ugly, and I've got a white beard, and a little kid? I've got 5 little kids that were all like this. You take them for a walk in the park, they see magic everywhere.
Exactly.
Right? And we were like that when we were kids.
Yeah.
And it all got bashed out of us.
Yeah.
But we're finding that inner child, that inner beauty, that God energy is just, I don't know, you caught me on a good day. I just feel full of it today. I'm
absolutely
very, very, very chipper.
Exactly. And that's, we have ups and downs. Yesterday, I don't know what was going on with me, but I just didn't feel very good. But, I had a healing, faith healing session 2 days ago with a guy called Stuart. I don't know whether you saw him on he's a healer. He heals through Jesus. He's from Gateshead. He talks like that. He's like, read Jordan.
Hey.
He was on what's he called? Oh my God, I can't remember. Bald head. Does lots of videos. You've been on his show.
Have I?
Yeah. Who is it? And it doesn't matter. It's not important. Anyway, so he's got this incredible history of healing people, like in saving their lives and doing all kinds of stuff. So I thought, I've had for more than a year, pains in my tendons down here, pains in my arms. I've tried all kinds of therapy, and lots of people have helped me, and I'm taking bushflower essence at the moment, which is excellent. But I thought, hey, I'll give him a go. Why not? Charges 50 quid. Okay. So
that's cheap.
He's great. He's absolutely great. And he did the session, and he charged me after. So, that's like trusting. So I'm talking to him on the phone saying, right, well, it's really late. It was 11:15 my time. I said, I'm just about to go to bed, but I said, oh, let's do it. 20-minute session. So as I sat down and connected with him on Skype, I thought, I feel better already. I've noticed the pain's gone. So he did his session, and he was praying and silence and all of that. I had this burning up the side of my head, burning on my shoulder, burning everywhere, like somebody had a hairdryer blowing up. And afterwards he said, so that's it. You've been healed by Jesus. How do you feel? And I said, well, to be honest, I feel pretty good. Like, and it reduced. I mean, it was still there, but it reduced. What I'm noticing is that as the days are progressing, it's getting less and less and less. It's virtually gone. And what a beautiful skill. And he's this normal guy from Gateshead, used to be a bad lad, and now he's going around healing people. And what I see is that what's happening to you, what's happening to so many people. Like, it's like we're being whooshed into a 5-dimensional, where you can heal people. He's a walking med bed. We don't need med beds. He is the med bed. And I think this is where we're going to be, where we will be our own everyththing. We won't need to these attachments to things, and this is what you were talking about with even as we kids and we grow up, they knock the shit out of us. And one of the things that they do is they give you that. You look at a tree and you go, wow, what's that? And they go, son, that's a tree. And in that moment, you stop seeing the tree and you see the label. And that's what's happened. Whereas really it's our own sovereignty is understanding that we are everything and we can be and do everything.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
Incredible. So, sir, we've been talking for an hour. Wow, that went fast. Mark, I want to really thank you for spending the time with me and sharing this. And I'll put it on my channel, and I know you could put it on your channel. I'll split it into 2 so that people can have a coffee in between.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, just but you know, sometimes it's a long time to listen for an hour. But fantastic, Mark. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a really good day.
Well, I want to thank you. I mean, you were there early in this journey for me, this particular one, and I haven't forgotten that. And you brought a lot to my life, and I know that you're still doing that with lots of people. And it's just amazing to have a grown-up conversation with another man about stuff like this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Maybe 5 years ago, I wouldn't have quite been talking on that level. But hey, what the hell?
It beats the football.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're in shit or bust now, Mark. It's shit or bust. Like, we've got to go for it. We've got to go for it, man.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care anymore. Let's just do it. Let's have it. 5D, let's have it.
Let's have it. Come on. Okay, Mark.
Cheers, Gordon. Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.